Hey, Wampum World Entertainment, and as you can see from the thumbnail, red alert, and red alert indeed, as Barbara Broccoli, the producer of the James Bond franchise, has opened up on the insight of the franchise's future and casting process. The interesting part about the casting process is how far away from actually casting someone they are. They're not even close by the sounds of it. But the future of the franchise is the major red alert when it comes to this new take on James Bond. So let's have a look at this little article and what she has to say. Because it's bad enough they blew the living hell out of James Bond in No Time to Die. That's right, his little fifis were hurt, so he stood there and let a barrage of rockets rain down on him because he wouldn't be able to touch his wife and child. You could still live, you could still do your job and protect your wife and child, but no, because he can't touch them, he lets himself die. By the way, his watch in that movie literally had an EMP device in it. Why didn't he just activate that and fry the nanotechnology that was in the bloodstream? God only knows. They seem to introduce the element of this EMP and then seem to have forgotten how EMPs work. So James Bond producer offers insight on the franchise's future and casting process. The James Bond franchise producer Barbara Broccoli shares insight on the casting process and the post-Daniel Craig era. So James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli recently offered fans an update on the franchise's future. Despite the 2-year gap since No Time to Die, the hunt for the next James Bond continues without a clear frontrunner. Names like Henry Cavill, Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Idris Elba have been circulating as potential contenders for the coveted role. However, Broccoli's latest revelation suggests that the casting process may be further away than initially thought. In her conversation with The Guardian, Broccoli revealed that they are yet to embark on the journey of reinventing James Bond for the next chapter. She also pointed out how they had successfully adapted the character to fit the 21st century hero mold during Daniel Craig's tenure. Broccoli acknowledged that his portrayal allowed them to explore the emotional, that's right, the emotional part of the character, which resonated with audiences. Did it? Because I'm pretty sure I remember everyone complaining since Casino Royale right up to No Time to Die of why is James Bond so hung up on one woman. The only element of the emotional stuff that worked was in Skyfall between him and M. That was it, because it was like a son losing his mother at the end. So here is what Broccoli says, and what's very concerning by the end of what she says. So she says this: I go back to GoldenEye when everyone was saying the Cold War is over, the wall is over, Bond is dead, no need for Bond, the whole world's at peace, and now there's no villains. And boy, was that wrong. With Craig, we wanted to focus on what a 21st century hero would look like. Daniel gave us the ability to make the emotional life of the character. And also, here we go, the world was ready for it. I think these movies reflect the time they are in. And there's a big, big road ahead reinventing it for the next chapter. And we haven't even begun with that. So there is your big red alert right there. These movies have to reflect the time they are in. And holy hell, are we in the worst times right now? with identity politics and all of that crap. If can you imagine them doing? No Time to Die was meant to be the James Bond of the Me Too era, because they brought in Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and one of the first things she said was, okay, we are banning the term Bond girl, which was just ridiculous. All the women throughout the years who have worn that title as a badge of honour and have called it out, saying, how dare you try and say we are no longer Bond girls. It's a So Broccoli continues with stuff. So while Barbara Broccoli acknowledged the fun and excitement of 007, she made it clear that their primary focus remains on the production of traditional Bond movies destined for the silver screen. Our focus is making a feature film. When we get going on a Bond movie, it takes our full attention for 3 or 4 years, so that's our focus. We make the Bond movies for the big theatrical screen, and everything about the Bond movies is for audiences to see around the world on that format. So we're not wanting to do television, because of course they're doing some, Prime has done some weird Road to a Million 007 thing. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh yeah, it's the reality show. It's like the game show thing set in the James Bond universe that Amazon announced immediately after getting the rights to the James Bond franchise. I think it's a car show, isn't it? It's like racing or something. But there you go. They truly are not learning to look at the reception that No Time to Die received. Of course, the critics all loved it. Oh, James Bond with Fifis, it's fantastic. The audiences were like, what in the hell is going... He was hung up over one woman for the entire series of the Daniel Craig movies. One woman. Why? Why are they looking at the emotional aspects of James Bond? He's a killer, an orphaned killer, a super spy. Why would he have all these emotions? So he's meant to have all these emotions for all these women, but he has no qualms about killing. It doesn't exactly work, does it? And it really didn't work with the Daniel Craig era. People liked and really resonated with Casino Royale. I don't personally like that movie. It's not terrible. It has interesting elements, but it just didn't feel like James Bond. For me, I know a lot of people love it. Quantum of Solace was a joke. That thing is like practically unwatchable. Skyfall was fantastic. I loved Skyfall. For me, that was one of the best James Bond movies. Hands down. It really was that good. But again, the emotional aspect of Bond in that was towards the end, but with M, not with Vespa and all these other people. Spectrum was such a letdown, and No Time to Die is just a joke of a movie. It truly was. But they want to focus on telling James Bond in the now. So are we going to have a Black Lives Matter James Bond? Are we going to have a pronouns James Bond? This truly sounds terrible. And of course, if they're not even close to finding a new James Bond, it's everything about whose names are in the hat are probably don't even bother taking those names out, because they're probably not gonna, they're gonna go with probably some super young idiot that just won't embody the character. Only time will tell. Probably be gay. It's nowadays, huh? Oh, a day damn gay James Bond. Can't wait, huh? Anyway, there you go. That's the red alert about James Bond. Nothing we probably didn't know was coming. How are they even bringing them back? They blew them to smithereens. But with that, I'll leave it there for this one. So cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.